Hello, let me try that again. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I don't know what matter. Yeah, welcome back to my channel. It's good to have you here once again, and it feels so good to say that because I'm back again, and it's not after a million years, Medea. You know, so it takes a lot of courage to do this thing here. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of time. Kudos to those people who have been keeping up. Those people who, are able to maintain this kind of thing, because it's not easy, pretty in a John shop, yeah. But anyway, I'm so happy to be back, so happy to be sharing with you once more. Let me pause, moment of silence. For those who watched my previous video, I must big up those who left a comment or two, those who liked my video, those who shared, those who subscribed. I think I gained about 6 followers from the previous video now. That's a big jump. I appreciate it. All right, so I'm kind of feeling a little bit down today. How are you all doing? I hope everything is going well for you. It's a nice, bright, sunny day, but I don't know what's wrong with me. My mood, it's like a little clock. Tick, tick, tick. Good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. But anyway, I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm just going to push through. Regardless, before I get into what I want to talk to you about today, though, I'm going to pause and give you a moment just to like, even before you have watched. Comment. I don't know what you're going to comment on. That can wait for later. Share. Please share. Even before you watch. And subscribe if you haven't done so as yet. For those who have, I appreciate you as always. Keep pushing and helping the girl to get where she needs to be. All right, big up on yourself. Anyway, so let me get right into this, because every time I come by here, I say, yo, I don't want this thing for long, but it always end up being lengthy. Anyway, if I'm talking about things that you want to hear, I don't really fuss about the time too much. Okay, so what I'm going to be sharing today is, of course, another bit of my experience being here in the USA as an international teacher. And this is also a part of my encounter with, what would I put it? God, of course, divine intervention to get me through what I've been through. Because listen to me, girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, I've been through a lot. I've just not had the courage to share, but I've been through a lot. There are a lot of things that I can actually sit here and share. Some I don't think I need to put out, to the public, but my life ain't no, what would you call it? It ain't a walk in the park. It isn't a walk in the park, and it's definitely not for the weak. It's not for the weak. But anyway, I'm giving thanks, and we're moving along, and we feel blessed, and let me just get right into this. But anyway, so this part of it, if you haven't watched my previous video about my surreal experience with God, part 1, then I'm encouraging you at this time to go back and watch that video, because this is somewhat of a continuation from that. All right, please go back and watch it. I don't have a lot of videos on my channel, so you'll be able to find it pretty easily. I think I should be able to pin it here, but if I'm not able to put the link, then I'm going to ask you kindly just to go back. I'd appreciate that. Okay. So I'm going to take you back to when I just came here. I feel like I want to sleep. Boy, I'm going to see back the man in my eye. I really feel sleepy, but anyway, I'm pushing through. I'm going to take you back to when I just came here. I came here in winter of 2021, I think that is. And it's right out of COVID. It's right, in that time when COVID, quote unquote, ended. And people were traveling again and all that. And that's when I happened to get through. And so I made it here in December, mid-December of 2021. Um, it was way more than, I'm telling you, it was more trouble. It was more than I could have imagined at any point that it would have been, right? Um, it was too much, if you ask me. If it was too much, if I can say so myself. It was way more than I had imagined it would be. Let me put it that way. Now, when I got here, I'm going to take you through it day by day. This video will be long. Let me tell you that from now. When I got here in December, the understanding was that I would have stayed in a hotel for maybe a couple of days or for a week, because the responsibility to find a house at that time was on me. The school, of course, did what they could have done. They were helping as much as they could have. But what teachers need to understand when they're coming here is that you will not be, what would I say now? You're not exempted from the rent laws, right? Put it that way. You're expected to provide just the same um, documents and everything that people here are expected to provide when it comes onto renting. So of course they're thinking about your credit score. They're gonna think about your family size, right? Because they do take that into consideration. Um, they want all the documents. They basically want everything. Even though you're fresh in the country and you won't have these things, it's kind of ridiculous, but these people are still expecting you to provide all that. Just remember that. Another thing you're expected to provide, and something that you need to think about, is the payment. So if you're renting a house that costs you $1,000, for example, if you're renting a room that costs you $1,000, oftentimes what they want you to do upfront is to pay the first payment, no, the deposit, and then 2 months rent. So you will have to pay 3 times the cost. That's what they're expecting you to pay. So a room for $1,000 upfront, you're going to come up with $3,000 before you get access to the room. That's how it works. All right. Now, so when I came here, the understanding was that we would have stayed at a hotel for a couple of days. And then within that time, we would search for a place to stay, a place to rent. It was challenging because I started searching before I even left Jamaica, and I just could not get any what do they call them, real estate agent or realtor, whatever you call them, to find a place for me. I think for the most part what I encountered was they were not interested. Once I told them that I was in Jamaica, like, you could get the feeling that they didn't even want to go on with the conversation. That's what I was getting. And so the school found an agent to help, but again, the school can only do so much and no more, right? The agent will still have to go through the same process with you like anybody else. And so it makes it even more difficult. So when I got here, I got the number. They connected me with this agent, and we went around, we searched for places. We just couldn't find anything. I went with her, I looked at a few places, but I'm telling you, oh my God, the places that you are being offered as a newcomer, right? As someone without credit and all of that, aren't places that you would really want to, for me, I would not even, I wouldn't be comfortable. Let me leave it at that. I just wouldn't be comfortable. Um, and that's a big thing because it makes it even more difficult with you being picky. It makes it even more difficult for you to find a place, because bottom line is you don't have credit and you don't have what these people are asking for. You don't meet the requirements as um, someone who wants to rent. So you're gonna have to basically stick to whatever you get, and that makes it hard. Um, so when I got here, I'm straying a little. When I got here the night, I was supposed to reach the airport at about somewhere after 10 p.m. My flight delayed, and so we got here and got to the hotel after midnight. When we got to the hotel, um, I walked up to the front desk, and I was so happy to be now like somewhere I could take some rest, because it was a long flight. We were tired. The kids were really exhausted. And so I went there, gave them my name, told them that the school had made reservations for us, and we were here. Now, I was met with, we can't find that reservation. No reservation was made in that name. And I was shocked. Like, I'm laughing because I'm looking back at it and I'm like, oh my God, you know, there's no reservation in that name. We're not picking up any, we're not seeing your name. There's no reservation for you. And bear in mind that this is after midnight now, people like, me don't know what to do. I literally didn't know what to do. And nobody was really like running around trying to find out what was happening. We were just there sitting in the lobby area with the kids, um, basically falling asleep, you know, and I just didn't know what to do. I felt so lost. Um, the front desk worker said that she was gonna let me in on a little secret. She said she saw the reservation earlier, but they canceled it because we were expected to arrive after 10, and because we didn't, come at that time, and nobody called to say what was happening. The hotel in some way thought it was, someone just playing around. And so what they did was to cancel the reservation, and they blocked that name from the system. So this is something that they usually do. You make a reservation, you don't turn up, you don't call them, they block you from the system, because to them you are causing them to lose money. They probably could have reserved your room for somebody else, but because of you, they probably missed that chance to, and so you'd be blocked from the system just so you don't get to do that again. So I was here new. I knew nothing about all of that, and I was already blocked from making reservation at a hotel in the United States. It's funny, but anyway, that was that. The manager wasn't there. The manager had already left, and so there was really nobody to talk to except the person at the front desk, who could do little or nothing, right, in that situation. So I called. Luckily, I was able to call the person I dealt with at the school, like right through. I had her personal number, and so I could call her whenever, at whatever time. It didn't matter. That was so good, I must say. So I called her up. I told her that there was no reservation, they canceled it, and we were sitting in the lobby area just waiting. And let me add, hungry did that kill we were so hungry because it was a long flight. It wasn't an all-inclusive hotel either. As a matter of fact, if it even was an all-inclusive hotel, we didn't get access to it, so we would not have had the privilege of getting food and all that. So we were just sitting there hungry, didn't know what to do. The rep from the school called the hotel, and they sorted something out and whatnot. They found out it was just a misunderstanding. It wasn't someone playing around, all that good stuff. And so they decided to give us a room for the night. Good. Not they couldn't do anything else at that hour. They decided just to let us stay for the night. So fast forward, they gave us that room. We couldn't unpack or anything. All we did was to, you know, shower, go to bed. We were so hungry. We went to bed like empty on E, because at that time I didn't have stuff like Uber Eats or whatnot. I didn't know what to do, to be honest with you. I'm just coming in. I still had my Jamaican I still had my number from Jamaica and all that. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know about downloading any Uber Eats and all of that. So we basically don't know what to do. We were just there, like we never know what to do. We went to bed hungry again. Let me stress that. Woke up the next morning. I guess the school called again to sort out the reservation, because we were told now that they were moving us to another room, the room that we would stay in for a couple of days, however long the hotel decided to let us stay there, right? So we were moved to that room, and we were able to settle in, pack out our things and so on. Feel a little bit more comfortable, if I may say so. Again, it was not all inclusive. They served breakfast. I think we went down for breakfast or something like that, because we had no option. We were basically just getting by. So we went down for breakfast. We had breakfast. We went to the dollar store. There was a dollar store nearby. I remember. Now, bear in mind that where I'm located, people not even walk. They not even walk. May I tell you, like, everybody drive. Everybody will live your drive, in a sense. And so we looked so crazy, like just walking to the dollar store, walking back with bags upon bags. And I'm telling you, listen to me, you have to pinch the little money when you come here, because hey, we're not even gonna get into that today. So we got a dollar store. We bought whatever we needed in that moment. The school again played such a good role in ensuring that we, were okay for the most part, because they called that morning and they offered to buy us grocery and whatnot. I also had a friend who was very good to us. I called him up. He came, took me to the supermarket. I was able to grab some stuff before the school even called. And so when I got back home and the school called, I told them what I already had, and they bought additional stuff. They also took into consideration the fact that I had kids, and so they bought little things like pizza, that sort of thing, snacks and so on. So that was really good, right? We were given a little kitchenette, and so we were able to prepare stuff on our own and all that, right? So we did that, and I prepped a little food, and we were okay. They had, I remember they had a McDonald's across the street, so we went there too, and we grabbed stuff, and we took care of the hunger. We did eat some stuff that day. Now, the trouble didn't even stop there. The hotel has this policy that you can only stay there for, like, I think it was 14 days. You're not allowed to go beyond 14 days. And remember, I had said before that we hadn't found anywhere to stay as yet. So we were there. We made the best of it, but we were also going around searching for places, and we could not find anywhere. No, I was supposed to start working in January, but because I came up early in December, the school asked me to start, and I did. I did start. And that was a good thing too, because they actually paid me. I worked for like 3 days before school closed out for the Christmas break, and they actually paid me for a week. I was like, woo hoo, that was nice, right? So I had a little money, I had a little extra cash. And listen to me, remember this thing, when you're prepping for this thing in Jamaica, it's like it took all my money. I was all spent out, to be honest with you. I came here with a little thing, of course, but I spent basically everything in Jamaica preparing for this move, right? So that was a good thing, just getting that little extra cash from the school. Anyway, moving on, we were there at the hotel, did our thing, was enjoying the moment. It was snowing, we were enjoying that. A big thing also was that going to school, I had to take Uber. I wasn't really used to the place as yet or whatnot, so I didn't know of any bus or whatnot. I called Uber, and of course, that was digging further into the little money I had, right? I remember the last day I went to the school, this there was a colleague of mine. She asked me, I didn't ask her, she asked me if I had somewhere to stay, if I had found a place to rent, and I told her no. And she said to me that she had a place and I could, come and view it and whatnot. I went. It was a nice little place, a part of her house. Was a nice little area. It wasn't too big, but it was really clean and nice. And I'm big on that. I want my place to be clean and neat. So that caught my eyes, and I was like, this was the best of what I had seen so far. And I decided I would, go ahead and rent it. It was like a 2 bedroom-ish, a little open kitchen and dining area, not so much of a hall, like there was no living room, but as I mentioned before, it was really neat, clean and nice, and it was not furnished, so I would have to buy bed and all that stuff. Remember, it may not come up with $1 million, so that was also a big problem. When that was for like going for like $2,300 per month, right? I remember you're expected to pay 3 times the amount, so that would run me like 6,000 something. Can't do the math right now, right? So 6,000 something dollars I would have to pay upfront. Good. We decided to take it. I decided to take it, and so I signed the papers and all that. And I went back to the hotel. When I got back there, something weird happened. I was there and I got a call on the phone in the room, the phone in the hotel room, the landline in the hotel room. I got a call, and the person referred to me by name. So the person was like, "Hi, Latoya, how are you doing?" And I'm like, "Okay, must be somebody from the hotel." So I answered politely. And the person said to me, "Oh, we have a problem. The card that was used to make your reservation has declined, and so there's no card on the system." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna call the representative from the school." And the person like, "No, no, no, you don't have to call them at this hour." I remember they called in the night. "You don't have to call them at this hour. It's no trouble. Well, maybe something happened with the card. Maybe the bank is preventing us from pulling the funds from the card. So all we need you to do is to give us your card information so that we can have a valid card on the system for you, just for the time being until you get in touch with the rep." I'm like, "Okay, let me call the rep. I know they will. I'm able to get her now." And the person insisted, like, "No, don't call." But I didn't pick up anything. I was like, okay, I had so many things going on that I wasn't really thinking in that moment, to be honest with you. So I went ahead and I provided the person. Remember, I told that person called me by name. I gave the person my card information. Me means every bit of my card information, the whole long line and number plus the little 3 number on the back, everything was given out. And then one man said, like, "No, call the rep at the school." So I called her, and she said, "No, nobody called to say the card had declined." And from her knowledge, the card was working, and all that. So I said, "Okay, this doesn't sound right." So call the hotel. When she called the hotel, she called back to say they told her they didn't make any such call. They didn't call me. They didn't request any card information. None of that. Remember, I told you that the call came in on the phone in the room, you know. So I'm not one bit like suspicious that it might be a scam or it might be anybody outside, because the person called the room phone and called me by name. Remember that. Anyway, I immediately called my bank and closed the card. So they got nothing from it. Attempts were made, but they got nothing from it. So they closed the card, luckily. All right, we sorted that out. We realized it was a scam and all that. So that gave me a little wake-up call, a little eye-opener. And from then, let me tell you something, said nobody in America can scam me. And nobody knows can scam me or no can't get no money from me. But anyway, yeah, so that taught me a lesson. I needed to be more careful as it relates to that. That gave me a wake-up call. So I'm not even sorry it happened. Right. So moving on, we were there now for the 14 days. Remember, this policy is that you don't go beyond the 14 days. But in our situation, I guess the school spoke to them and they gave us an additional 7 days to sort ourselves out and check out at them place, right? 7 days come down. We still can't find anywhere. Spoke to the manager myself. Manager said she was giving us another 3 days, but it could not pass that because we're now going overboard. You understand? They gave us 3 days, 3 additional days, so that's probably 21 days now plus 3 more days after the people in policy say you're not supposed to be there after 14 days, right? And even with that, within that time, we couldn't find anywhere. So I remember telling you about the house I decided to take. When I called the lady, my colleague, to tell her what happened with the credit card and all that, and the scamming and all that, I guess she became suspicious somehow of me, or I don't know what was happening. But she started, acting up and acting weird and requesting some documents from Jamaica, from my bank in Jamaica, to prove that I would have the money to pay her rent. Remember, I never troubled this lady. I never go to her, ask her about the rent. She offered to rent us a place, and she even went as far as to say that she wouldn't take any documents from us. We wouldn't have to provide any credit score and all that, because she knew that we were new on the block, and so she didn't expect us to have all that. But she started asking for all of that, and if I can't get recommendation, well, I can't blame her, because me know how the renting go, and nobody up here. So if people stuck in a place and decide not to come out, is a problem. It's a big problem. So I guess she was trying to prevent that. But anyway, we had to allow that to fall through, because I was annoyed with the way she was behaving, and I was advised to just leave it, to just let it slip by. So I did just that. So again, we were back to square one. We didn't have anywhere to go. Time was running out, and the people that at the hotel, they were really serious at this point that we needed to go. We needed to leave, like, get out of here, you know. 3 days came, the 3 additional days ran out, and they decided that we had to check out of the hotel by 12 on the final day. I went to work that day. We didn't know what to do, to be honest with you. The agent wasn't finding anywhere. I had to call up my friend again. He came, picked me up from work, took me to the hotel. We packed our bags and pans, and we basically just sat in his car. We checked out like 12, and we sat in my friend's car until about midnight, to be honest with you, because we had nowhere to go. Bear in mind that it was snowing, it was snowing, right? We had nowhere to go, and he stayed there with me. He stayed there with us. Glory be to God, because if it wasn't for him, I don't know what would have happened, to be honest with you. He stayed there with us. I was back and forth on the phone talking to the agent, talking to someone from the school. Nobody knew what to do. Nobody knew what to do, to be honest with you. The agent called sometime, I think after 10 in the night, to tell us that she found this place. The owner was willing to rent it to us, because she understood the situation, and so she was willing to rent it to us. So we were supposed to meet them like the following day. Now, like I've said, me never come up here with no $6,000, $7,000 for pay no rent, because me never know that the people them want you to pay down 3 times. 3. You had to pay 3 times the amount that they charge you for the rent per month, right? So when I came upon that roadblock, having to find the 6,000 whatnot, I started reaching out to my family members, and of course, nobody was willing to jump in and assist. I won't get into details where that is concerned, but I've been through it. I'm telling you, I've been through hell and back. I've been through hell and back. I could stop and just cry right now, but I'm not gonna do it. I won't do it. Right? Yeah, everybody basically, pull back and all of that, and like, God, based on everything that was happening before, I'm like, God, I trust you, I know you, and I know that you would not have brought me this far to put me in this mess. You wouldn't take me out of my house to bring me here with my kids, not having anywhere to go, not knowing what to do, so I trust that you will come through in time. And yeah, we reached out, nobody to help. I have an aunt, I'm telling you, that's my rock. She was there with me right through. She didn't have it, but I'm going to tell you what she did. And I'm going to tell you what happened, and why I considered this like a divine intervention. I went back home one day. So while I was there thinking about the money and whatnot, I think I was in the hotel room. No, hold on. Let me not confuse you. So remember now, I checked out of that hotel and I was in the car with my friend and my family, of course. I'm a bag and pang them, right? And I was so worried because now that the agent told me that she had found a place, and I had to come up with the money because I didn't want this to slip by. I didn't have any option, whether or not the place broke down or whatnot. I'm gonna have to take it. And we weren't reaching anywhere in terms of getting family to help or getting friends to help or whatnot. I don't hold grudges or whatever, so I won't even talk on that. I remember my aunt said to me, her husband had given her some money to put in his account, and she was gonna take out the money. She was gonna take the money from his account without him knowing and send the money to me to take care of my rent. Glory be to God. Big up yourself, Charmaine. We just feel like for cry. But you know all the things set already. Anyway. Right. So, she did that. She took out the money. She didn't even know how to get the money to me. She called another family member here, and she asked a family member to give me the cash. And then the family member, she would make arrangement with the family member to get it back from her. So that was done, and the money was sent to me. And so now I had the money to pay my rent. I remember being in the room in the night, I told you I was gonna cry, you know. I don't want to cry. I remember being in the room, and oh, I can't tell you about being in the room as yet. So yes, I got the money. Um, Sometime after 10 going up to 11, a representative from the school called to say they were gonna make reservations for a night or two at another hotel for us, right? Remember, I know it has snow, you know, it cold, you know, and we sit on my car. So they made reservations for us at another hotel. This one was all inclusive. And the lady from the school, the rep from the school, left her home. She came to the hotel, she checked us in, and okay, we were okay for that night. We went in, we tried to relax, and all that, you know. Slept. I had to go to work the next morning too, so I didn't even get much sleep, right? Because I had to get up like maybe 5 or so on to get ready to go to work. Remember, I was not used to this place, so I had to call Uber, I figure my way out and all of that stuff, you know. Anyway, while I was in the room the night, remember I told you, if you watched the previous video, I was having like things happening, conversations with God, I'd say. I don't know how or why that was happening to me, but I knew I had somebody talking to me. And that was not just my mind, it was literally someone talking to me, you know. And I was afraid to explain it to anybody else because I didn't want people to think I was crazy and forget my tears. I didn't want people to think I was crazy. I was in the room the night, and this person who kept talking to me from Jamaica all the way up, person or whatever you want to call it, this person said to me, stop calling people asking for money. I told you to stop worrying. You're still worrying. Stop calling people asking for help. It will be okay. And because of my experience before with God, I listened, and I told my husband what I heard, or what the person had said to me. And oh my God, I look terrible now that I'm crying. But anyway, but I listened, and I decided not to call anybody again. I went to work the next morning, and I came back to the hotel. They had paid for another night, so I had one more night there. They paid for 2 nights, so I had one more night there. I went back to the hotel, and I went to dinner. I thought they had paid for the dinner. I thought the dinner was included in what they had paid. And so we had a feast. I mean, we ate. Listen to me, man. We tried stuff. We ate. Listen. Hey. We tried stuff. Whew. We had a great night. We took pics. We ate. Lord have mercy. We had fun. That was the best night since we had landed in the U.S. Went up. When we were through eating, the man came with a bill. And I was all confused because I was like, the school paid for the reservation, so why would he be giving me a bill? Bill big too, you know. Bill was like $200 and something. And I was saying, okay, I don't want the embarrassment. I went to my room. I called the manager. I explained to him that we didn't know that the food wasn't paid for and whatnot, and all of that. And that didn't help. We still had to pay for it. That was okay because I had a little money, so I was willing to. I called the lady from the school and told her to, and she said no, the food wasn't paid for. So I decided to pay for it on my own, and that was that. They said we didn't have to pay for it until we were checking out. Good, fine. The next day I went back to work. This was the day now when I would have to check out of this second hotel. I checked out. I came back from work. Called my friend again who was taking us around in his car, and so we packed our stuff, and I went down to check out. When I went down to check out, and I want you to listen to this carefully, when I went down to check out, I asked them to pull up the bill so I could take care of it. Let me tell you something, nobody can tell me nothing about God. You see, if you've never had these experiences with God and you don't believe in Him, that is on you. Me can't force you, because me just believe say you need something for hold on to. And I've had many things, many things, like I've had, at this point in my life, I have too much evidence that God is alive and real for you to come and tell me anything else. They couldn't find the bill. They couldn't find the food bill. They can't find the $200 worth of food where we eat recorded. Nowhere they can't find the bill. Jesus, people they can't find the bill. So I'm like, I'm ready to go, and I need to pay this bill. If them can't find the bill, them can't charge me. We were there. Somebody else come and them a search for bill because they know say yes, we eat for true and whatnot. The people then can't find the bill the whole night. They couldn't find no bill. The whole. I stayed there for like maybe a good hour, half an hour to an hour, and they still couldn't find the bill. They can't find the bill. So the hotel, the guy at the hotel said to me, "You can leave, and when we find it, when we sort it out, we will call you." Right? Until now, nobody no call me because they no find the bill. If people they no find the bill, they no find no bill. Jesus. Anyway, we left there and we went to meet with the agent and the person who was renting the house. Did all of that transaction, paid the money. When we pay money now, remember say we don't have nowhere to go, we have to move in that house same time. The house not furnished, not have nothing. We not even did see the house before. We did not go there before. We didn't look. I had no option at this point, so I was just taking it. I went and I signed papers, paid the money, and all of that. Hey, when we went to the house the night now, because we have to go there, and then we have to sleep because we don't have nowhere else to sleep. When we went to the house the night, the heater wasn't working. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Me never experienced them kind of cold in my life. Me means that the house inside of the house colder than outside, and snow lying outside, right? So we had nowhere to go. The agent, she was kind enough to lend us one of those portable, what you call it? One of those little heater, yeah, right? The one, your little one where you plug in and whatever. That had no use that night because the house was freezing cold. I went to Walmart the night, my friend took me, and I bought 2 blow-up bed, what do you call them, air mattress or whatever. And by the time me blow them up and put them down on the floor, it feel like in a fridge me put them. We used one room because we only had one heater. And so we plug in the heater, and the heater kind of turn like fan, it a spin. So every time it turn half away, it's like me just a tremble, and I'm anemic. I'm badly anemic. So when me tell you say me cold bad, when you feel like it is, say, maybe 50 degrees, me I feel something will feel like probably 20. May I tell you that? And so it was a tough night, terrible night. I remember, because of course me always have put my picking them first. I remember buying 2 nice comforter kind of thingy, throw it over them, cover them the night, turn the heat upon them so that them could fall asleep. And me now cover up and me tremble like hell on the next earbed, you know. When we go in at the house dirty. The people them where they living at the house, the whole of the garbage where them use, baby pampers, dirty wipes, the whole of that pile up in the bathroom, all behind the bowl and all of that, you know. The house, that's I want whole time house. They not do no sort of fixing up on the kitchen cranny, bathroom cranny, everywhere cranny. Me just have to give it to them as it is. Me can't bother with the English in them part, yeah. Oh, my Lord, listen to me, you know. We start clean. Before we got to bed the night, we had to clean the floor to put on the mattress because I couldn't lie down in that. The way me stay, for me mind now go make me sleep. Me I go mad out. So anyway, we clean up one room, put on my suitcase and whatever. I remember some me plant this probably about midnight again, you know. We up, I do all of this and me have to go work the next morning, you know. Me start feel like me have nerves problem. I started trembling, right? I went to bed. I didn't sleep. My kids slept. They were tired. So my friend left us there, stayed there for the night in the cold without the heater in the middle of winter. In the morning, no, yes, early in the morning, no, not early in the morning, the same night, a lady called from the school again, late in the night, you know, and she said to me, we found a place for you. And where are you? We want you to take this place. And I said to her, no, I just paid some money for a place. We're now at the place, so it's too late. And she said, oh my, I really wanted you to get this place because it's a very nice place. I went for myself and I looked at it and I really wanted you to get this place. Because somehow, you know, me likeable, so, you know, people in that look out for me anyway. Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, I can't take it. I'm already here. I paid the money. You know things got in place are serious. You sign lease or whatever, you sign contract, it hard to break it. Anyway, she said, okay. Next morning, as me get boat in at 5 o'clock, me see one message coming from her again. And she said, call the landlord, tell her some lie or something. You have to tell her something to get back your money because this place, we really want you to take this place. And as a matter of fact, we're sending somebody from the school to come and pick you up with your things because we want you to go and look at this place. Take back the money. Even if them are going to take a part of it, find one way to get back your money. I called the agent, my agent that I was working with. The agent called the other agent for the landlord. He had so much attitude like, nothing is wrong with the place. We never tell him something wrong with the place. We just tell him say we get somewhere else. Anyway, when he act up, I decided to call the landlord on my own. Like, I had her number. She had given me her number. She was a teacher, but she left the job and so on. So from the very night I met her, we had a little connection. She said that she had took a liking to me, I would say. And so, you know, she would work with me and all that. So I called her and I explained to her what the situation was. And she said to me, the area you claim you're moving to, or the area you're telling me about, is not a good area, but I'm going to be fair to you. I'm going to allow you to go and look at the house and come back, and if you really want to take it, I'm willing to give you back the money. I went and I looked at the place. It means that we pack up now. We have scandal bag like a downtown where I come from, you know. Oh, we pack up now, and the lady from the school came and picked us up, took us to this place. We came and we looked at it and was like, oh my God, where was this all along? I can't say much about the place because of where the place is and who the place belongs to and all of that, but all I can say to you is that this was a divine intervention. It's a miracle all in itself, right? I came and I looked at the place and I was like, oh my God, we want to be here. So we moved everything over. Went back to the house we had rented, called the landlord to tell her that I was moving, and she said okay, she was willing to give us back the money. Can you believe that the agent that works for the landlord was still upset and decided to take $400 out of my money? Remember saying enough for my money already, you know, my money I go down, enough for my money already. Him decide to take $400 out of the money, and again the voice came up and told me not to say anything, to let it go. I smiled and I agreed to him taking the $400 out of the money. Something just tell me, say, allow the $400, and even if this man wants to take all the money, make him take it. That was what was happening. Me can't explain it because literally felt like I had somebody walking beside me telling me exactly what to do. So that happened. They took the $400 out of the money because I guess I spent the night there, and you know, whatever. According to the agent, other people wanted the place to rent, but because of my situation, he put me first and all of that. Anyway, I moved into this place. And it wasn't even prepared because this place was not up for rent. It's not a place that's rented, right? It's a part of someone's house, I cannot say, but it's not up for rent. So when I got here, it wasn't prepped for us. I took it anyway, did my little cleaning and stuff. Very nice, comfortable place, and we moved in, and that was that. When I came here, the person, it was fully furnished. I bought nothing. We got 3 rooms. It's a 3-bedroom house, part of a house, kitchen, living room, dining room. I mean, fully furnished. When I came here, we got 3 beds, right? A big king size bed, queen size bed for the kids, big smart TV, sofa, everything, everything, everything. I got everything. Fridge, refrigerator, microwave, stove, everything was already there. A dresser, night tables, everything. Art piece per wall. I got everything. And when I got here, no contract. I signed, I was given no contract. It was by word of mouth that the person said, okay, I'll rent you this place for a certain amount of money. Like, really underpriced, really undervalued. Like, it was, I'm basically giving the person a little contribution to live here. And I'm like, what's happening? You know, what is happening? I lived here, and the person came, and the person asked me what I needed in to start. Like, the person was like, listen, don't be afraid to tell me what you need. I know it's hard to move with your whole family and to start life again and whatnot. Tell me what you need. And I was so shocked. I didn't know what to say to the person. I even said to the person I'd get back to him or whatnot, because he had given us so much. He had given us so much. Like, when I walked into the house, I was like, I could not accept anything else from him. So I told the person I would get back to him, and I did not, because we had everything. The person gave me plates, like everything, sheets, comforter. Me no know, listen, me can't get down into it, but I got everything, right? Yeah. And I stayed here for maybe a month before I was charged any rent. I was able to return the funds to my aunt untouched. I didn't use a dime from it. I returned the funds to my aunt that she took from her husband's account before my first paycheck, I didn't have to touch it because I was given a month to live in this place free of cost. No contract. I was just living, going about my business and coming back in, right? The following month, when the person decided that we needed to, sort out the rent, whatever, and decide on a date to pay the rent and all that, he sent a message to me and he said, you can start paying your rent next month, and for this month I'm going to charge you the amount we've decided on minus $500. I want to listen to what I say now. Remember that the man at the house had taken $400 out of my money. And when I came here, I did not tell this owner anything. I did not tell this person that story. They knew nothing about it. But when the person sent me the message, he stated that the first rent I'd pay was supposed to be $500 less than what I was gonna pay moving forward. You can't tell me nothing about God? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nobody can come and tell me about God. You hear me tell you? And that was that. Another thing I missed out. When I just got here, they had a Christmas raffle. I was the last person to buy a ticket, and I won. I won was it a 65-inch? I think a 65-inch or 75-inch flat screen television, smart television. So my place fully sorted out, my place fully TV out, my place. Me tell you, say God good, Guess what? Another blessing was the fact that I did not even have to take vehicle to school. The place I got, the place I now live, is like a 3-minute drive from my workplace. And if I'm walking, it takes me like 8 minutes. So for the first couple of months before I bought my car, I walked to and from work. And I was able to save a lot because of that. I don't know if I've missed out anything, but I can tell you that God is good. God is indeed amazing. And I'm saying all of this. I hope I didn't tell this story. It wasn't too boring, because I was thinking it through while telling you, because I didn't want to miss anything. Yeah, I was able to pay up all my bills. I was able to return the funds and start life in a good way, get settled in a good way within the first month or two of being here, of being in this place. And to this day, I've been here for almost 3 years. I still don't have a contract. I pay a contribution, and I have no I won't hesitate to say that even if the person ends up watching this video, it is a contribution, because it is way less. 3-bedroom, you think me could afford 3-bedroom and save money? No, my love. So everybody in here have a room. Everybody in here have a big bed. Women are buy. Everybody in here have a TV. Women are buy. It's just amazing. You won't understand. I cannot explain it. Before I close out the video, let me also share with you that on the second day of being here, the person called me to share something with me. The person said, when the person from the school asked me about renting the house, I was hell-bent on no, I didn't want to rent it. But I couldn't sleep the night. Because when I tried to go to bed, remember I had no conversation with this person about what was happening with me and God and all of that, you know. The person said, I tried to go to bed and I couldn't sleep because God came to me and said, straight up, you need to help this family. You need to help this family. Remember, you know, I had never met this person before. The person didn't know me. They only approached him and asked him to rent the house. And he didn't want to. It was not up for rent. And I'm here today. I remember talking to him the other day and he said, the intention, and that's the reason we don't have a contract, because the intention was not to have you here for any lengthy period. It was just for you to settle and get yourself sorted out. And 2.5 years later, I am still here. No problem whatsoever. Still paying the teeny little bit. No contract. And I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. And I consider myself, you know, unworthy of this blessing. But I'm blessed beyond measure. I'm covered. And I can tell you that God is real. God is real. I didn't even intend for the video to sound this way. I didn't intend for the mood of it to be like this. I didn't intend for my tone to be like this. But it's as I started the video, as I started talking, I went into this reflective mode, and I hope I didn't bore you, but I've been there. I've done that. And a part of this I want to use as you know, or use to give advice to international teachers. Ensure that when you're coming here or wherever you're going, bear in mind that you may be asked for 3 months rent in advance. You are not coming, for the most part, you won't have a house when you won't have anywhere to stay when you get here. If you have a family member or a friend that you can stay with for a period of time, make that arrangement. If not, you may come upon challenges in finding a place to stay. So prepare for that. You know, people were saying I should have left my family behind and then, you know, do whatever after. But I cannot leave my kids. I'd prefer to give up the job than to leave my kids behind. I'm not going to do that. I'm never going to do that. So if you're like me, you may come across these challenges. And so brace yourselves, prepare yourselves adequately. You will need to have some money to get by. And whatever else you can pick out of this video, please do so in making those preparations. All right, I think I'm gonna stop here for today. Again, I hope my little mood didn't affect you, because I'm feeling even more reflective than when I started out. And I'm gonna close out by saying, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I hope you'll be back here after this video. And again, I'm encouraging you to go back to part 1 of that experience I shared maybe a year ago. And yeah, that's it for today. I hope you made it to the end of the video with me. Hit that notification bell so that you will know when I upload my next video. Big up on yourself. I'm out.